third, but you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits, and if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
And we are live here on 1580 The Fanatic, broadcasting live from the Harman Solar Studios. This is Beat the Book. I'm Theon Rose. Alongside me, our betting expert, Dylan Cohen. And we have got a jam-packed show for you today, and we're going to try our best to hit every single thing. Obviously, last night, Monday Night Football, we'll touch on that a little bit. The Chiefs get the better of the Saints because even without Rashee Rice, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. The Jets, apparently they have a new head coach, moving in a very new direction mid-season. Doesn't work out for a whole lot of teams. We'll try and take a guess at what the Jets were thinking. Probably nothing, if we're going to be completely honest. And then we've got Ced Ceballos joining us in segment number 2 of this show to get to some of the NBA insights, division winners, and things of that nature to keep you informed about the NBA season. And Ced Ceballos, I don't think that either Dylan or I are as qualified to speak on the NBA as a former all-star, slam dunk champion. The list of accolades kind of just goes on with him. So very much looking forward to having him on the show. And we have the Sport Trade contest coming up on Friday. Just keep in mind how that works if you want to be able to guess the win probability of the Cardinals. The highest win probability they'll achieve during the first half of the game. We'll be doing that again. Price is Right rules. We'll clarify a little bit later. CK won the contest, by the way, for those of you who didn't get to catch the show yesterday. And we'll have to figure out how to get in touch with CK and get that information so that we can get him the $100 Amazon gift card and the $50 in Sport Trade betting credits that he won. So now that that's all out of the way, Dylan, who powers the show?
Sport Trade powers the show. And we did get the ball rolling yesterday on getting CK connected with Sport Trade so he can claim his prize. And make sure to tune in for Friday's edition of Beat the Book. Sport Trade CEO Alex Kane will be back with us. We will be doing another contest. There will be another $100 Amazon gift card and another $50 in credit to Sport Trade being given out. So if you want to make your pick for what the highest implied probability on the Arizona Cardinals to win the game on the money line during the first half of their upcoming game this Sunday against the Packers. Make sure you tune into this show on Friday. At that point, you can start texting in what you think that number is going to be. And Keon, we do need to have a quick chat because there was some Monday Night Football that went down yesterday. Those Kansas City Chiefs, they are just a force to be reckoned with. It does not matter if they lose their starting running back. It does not matter if they lose their top wide receiver. This is just a next man up squad. And you get these crazy performances from the likes of Juju Smith-Schuster with 130 passing yards.
Yep.
Holy cow. And then you've got Kareem Hunt, who just, casually comes back into the sport after years away.
I don't know if it was years away, but he was not on a team at the beginning of this season. And, obviously it made sense for him to go back to the Chiefs. He was in Andy Reid's system before, but still to basically have no preseason, no training camp, and walk in and be able to do what Kareem Hunt has been doing. They tried not to go to him. They tried to give it to the rookie Carson Steele. Just Kareem Hunt just wound up being the better option and took the bulk of the carries. And boy, did it show last night.
So final score there, Chiefs won 26-13. A little bit of an unimpressive performance from Derek Carr. He did have some highlights. That Saints team, they have weapons. It might just be a Derek Carr issue, but Rashid Shaheed, excellent performance. Didn't get a whole lot out of Chris Olave, unfortunately. And Alvin Kamara got a bit contained. That was exactly why I put out taking the under on his rushing receiving yards. That one hit no problem.
Yeah, Chiefs defensive line is tough. You just don't run against them very easily. And then, of course, Chris Olave, as you mentioned, was busy being locked away by Trent McDuffie for the greater part of that game.
You absolutely called
that is, he's just a force of a football player. And he makes problems go away. Chris Olave is usually a problem for most defenses. Gone, absolutely gone. So that was something that happened. And yeah, I do agree with you, by the way. I do think that there's a little bit of a Derek Carr problem, but it's Derek Carr up against a high-end defense. And that's what I wanted to see. He did a really good job of beating worse defenses earlier in the year. This was a real test for him, and I don't think he passed the test. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
Well, and there was also some big news within the NFL. And it was kind of funny. I'm almost starting to suspect that perhaps Woody Johnson might be tuning into this show from time to time. We happen to have this conversation yesterday. We got a very excellent, insightful text. Was that Chase, the lightning roofer? I forget which name we settled on because there were a couple.
I believe so. Yeah.
So, excellent point made. Just showing that up until this point in the season, the Jets are performing just as well with Aaron Rodgers as they did with Zach Wilson. And that is just like metaphorically the picture that paints is not good for that Jets organization. Woody Johnson decided he had seen enough and he let Robert Saleh go this morning. So he was relieved of his duties and now they have
right. My offense isn't working well, so I'm going to fire my defensive-minded head coach. This makes perfect sense.
Well, we know from decades of professional sports that owners just know best and they just have to jump in and they gotta make some moves when things aren't happening.
Yeah, just gotta shake something up. So we're gonna run the same defense because we promoted the defensive coordinator, but our team scored 9 points against the Broncos. So we're gonna fire the defensive minded head coach because that's clearly the issue. I just the Jets don't make any sense. I couldn't be a Jets fan, and I say this as someone who's been a Commanders fan my whole life. There was at least light at the end of the tunnel. Like, man, one day maybe Daniel Snyder might leave. It doesn't seem to matter what's going on with the Jets. They just suck.
Woody Johnson's like you're not going to pry this team away from me, over my dead body.
I mean, clearly. And then the thing that's crazy about it is firing your head coach this early in a season almost never works. Out of the 27 times in the Super Bowl era in which a team has fired their head coach before week 6, only one of those people has ever made the playoffs, and that was Rich Bisaccia with the Raiders a few years ago. This does not work. It is proven to not work.
I have to imagine the odds of Devontae Adams joining this team just increased by a bit, and perhaps there was some, behind the door
Maybe.
conversations. Perhaps Robert Saleh was trying to be the voice of reason and was trying to make a case as to why that's just not going to make things that much better right now.
Does appear to be the only person in the building who is not willing to kiss Aaron Rodgers' ass.
So I mean, this could be a slippery slope that the Jets are starting to walk down here. I find it very interesting. This is the second time I've seen an owner of a team with a under 500 record come out and say that this is the best group of guys that they've had ever, or like in a very long time. Woody Johnson, according to him, this is the best team they've had in the last 25 years.
I actually believe him to a degree. I mean, granted, the Rex Ryan Jets, go back and look at that defense and just look at all the Pro Bowlers and future Hall of Famers on that defense. I don't think it's like not even close, but I do think as far as like offense and defense, both sides of the ball, I think that this is the most talented team that they've had. They are poorly coached.
Well, Jets, their very next game, and of course, great timing by the owner. It is a primetime spotlight matchup this coming Monday, a Monday Night Football at home against the Buffalo Bills. So divisional rival, one of the elite teams in the league coming to town, and you're just gonna kick your coach out the door, and we'll be all the better for it.
Yeah, and what do you think that kicking Robert Saleh is going to do to help prepare you for Josh Allen? The defense was not the problem with the Jets. I think that was pretty clear. Robert Saleh's record with the team, he won 4 games his first season. Then he was 7-10, 7-10, and he was 2-3 this year. To the absolute effect that they were 7-10, that was him, I think, bringing out the most that team had to offer, because he had Zach Wilson for 2 years.
So, I mean, we're going to have to keep our eye on this soap opera that is the New York Jets, and the way that is going to play out over the rest of the season.
And when you have a guy that just controls the organization like that, that to me is like a big fear. Aaron Rodgers controls that organization basically top to bottom at this point, and it shows, and it's not good. I don't think any one player should have the ability to do that.
Well, speaking of, a player that has so much control within their organization, want to bring this conversation over to the basketball corner, because today is Tuesday, and that is when we're going to be focusing on the NBA. And I had the pleasure and the opportunity to go and travel to Palm Springs on Sunday, and I was in attendance for the Lakers and Suns exhibition game that took place on that day. So I did get to witness Bron and Bronny's first moments on the court together. If you happen to follow me on Instagram, the tag is @BeatTheBookFanatic, all spelled out. You would have seen the videos that I posted on my story. It was absolutely surreal seeing a father and a son take the court together. There was about like a 4-minute window in the second quarter where Bronny sat the whole first quarter, then started the second quarter. You saw him take his warm-ups off, and you're like, oh, okay, it's finally happening. Here we go. But there's a huge observation that I had that I don't hear enough people talking about this. And if you're a Lakers fan out there, I feel sorry for you. And the reason why is because your team has crafted what might be the absolute biggest distraction that an NBA team has ever had to deal with, possibly in history. At least I would say this is the biggest distraction since what the Clippers had to put up with Donald Sterling. And that wasn't even tied, directly to a player that was going to be on the court.
Yeah. And we're not talking about distraction in terms of negativity so much as distraction just in terms of here's a circus that is overshadowing the entire game.
That 4-minute window, the result of the game was secondary. I mean, the dynamic of Bron and Bronny being on the court together is a larger spectacle than the game itself. And now, from the Lakers' standpoint, I mean, it draws some conflict because you're running a business, you're trying to sell tickets, you're trying to keep this a profitable entity, and there is a piece to your product where, as long as Bronny is on the bench and there's a remote possibility that these two are going to possibly play in this game, you're going to sell out probably just about every single game. It doesn't even matter if it's, the Hawks or the Wizards or, the Hornets, whoever comes to town. That is a very compelling thing that people want to go see. But As soon as those two are on the court together, it's not about winning the game or playing a basketball game anymore. It's about, what does LeBron do to interact with Bronny? What does Bronny do to interact with LeBron? Are they going to try and set each other up on some kind of an assist or a shot? What was really crazy, which we saw play out organically, which never once thought of before, was Bronny, within a couple minutes of being in the game, committed a moving screen violation. I have this whole thing on video, by the way. And he goes over to the ref to try and plead his case. And LeBron makes a beeline. LeBron was starting to go down the court to get back on defense. He turns around, he sees this going on. He now runs over to his son having this interaction with the ref to try and help his son plead his case.
I just hate this for this entire locker room. This is so messy. I hate everything about this.
And that's my point. I mean, look, if Bronny becomes a great player, that's a whole other thing. Maybe they figure this out a little bit. Maybe the excitement and the shine of it all kind of dies down and they can focus. But for right now, what this looks like on the court,
it's a circus. It's not a basketball game. It's a circus.
There's no focus. And then to couple that with bringing in a guy like JJ Redick, a very respected analytical mind when it comes to the NBA, but someone who has zero coaching experience whatsoever. He has no experience trying to lead and manage a group of other grown men to achieve a pretty large goal.
It's actually hilarious that this is the Lakers organization dealing with this, because notoriously the greatest coach in recent memory for the Lakers is Phil Jackson, whose greatest skill wasn't X's and O's. I mean, the triangle offense was pretty deadly when you got the right players in it and they knew what to do. It was his ability to manage egos. The fact that he could do it with Jordan and Pippen and Rodman, and then go to LA and do it with Kobe and Shaq and Derek Fisher. Like that was his biggest skill. To now have the face of the Lakers be LeBron James and a head coach who has never had to do this before, that this feels like a disaster waiting to happen.
If you're a team in the NBA with true championship aspirations, this is probably the most toxic thing I've ever seen a team, have to endure and have to try and overcome. And any other team, I mean, when the Suns saw Bronny come in that game, all of their eyes got big. They saw the opportunity. Yeah. He was the weakest chain on the court, and they exploited him. He is not at a point yet in his career where he can truly hang with all of these guys, but he's getting this opportunity because there's a different incentive that people are going after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is something I'm very intrigued to continue to see play out. We need to get to a break here, but when we come back, we're going to be bringing Ced Ceballos into the conversation. We're going to chat a little bit more NBA, get some of Ced's thoughts on who he thinks is going to win some of these other divisions that we didn't get to chat about last time. And we'll get some thoughts from him about LeBron and Bronny and, anything else that we're interested in, trying to learn more about the NBA. If you have any questions for Ced, feel free to text us 888-368-1580.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say on the subject is you got to walk the line. The incentive is to sell tickets, but I promise you, if you look like you're not going to make the playoffs, those tickets aren't going to sell like they used to. Just putting that out there. All right, let's get to Ced Ceballos. That's coming up on the other side. You're listening to Beat the Book here on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner and I are set to bring you the action between the Falcons and the Eagles from Philadelphia. Philly with Saquon Barkley, the running back, now sparking the offense. They return home after a big win in Brazil over Green Bay. Now they host Atlanta, looking for their first win with quarterback Kirk Cousins. Join us on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harman Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmansolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmansolar.com.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
With all the school supplies your child will need over the years, it can be easy to overlook the most important one of all, money, which is a good reason to open an AZ 529 Education Savings Plan. Whether you invest $15 or $150 a month, your money grows tax-free. By the time your little one is ready for college, vocational school, or workforce training, they'll have all the savings they need to get the job of their dreams. Visit az529.gov to get started.
This message is sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
We're back, and you're listening to Beat the Book here on 1580 The Fanatic. I'm Keon. That is Dylan Cohen. And joining us on the phone line today is Sed Ceballos, who joined us last week to talk a little NBA. And we're glad to have you back, Sed. How are you doing, man?
Great. Still a little temperature thing going on here in Arizona.
Well, I mean, the temperature thing lasts like 3 months, so
we're in the home stretch, man. We're almost through. End of October. So, Sed, appreciate you being back with us here. I actually had a quick question for you. Keon and I were just chatting a little bit before the break about LeBron and Bronny, which, you know, we did talk a little bit about the last time you were with us here last week. I happened to be at the game on Sunday in Palm Springs, and I got to actually see what this looked like in person. And I'm just curious, from a player's perspective and someone that spent a lot of time in the NBA, were there ever moments during games where you knew that the crowd wanted to see something specific from you? They you know, you could tell that they wanted to see a dunk or an alley-oop or a shot. Were there ever moments like that where you felt obligated to deliver and give the crowd what they wanted?
Yeah, you know, my first 2 years on the Madhouse and McDowell with the Suns after getting drafted, you know, they would come early because I wasn't playing that much. They would come early to the games and watch my little dunk exhibition, in the layup line. So at the beginning of the game, when we first ran out the tunnel and the crowd getting all hype, I would put on a little show there. But if I did get an opportunity to get in the game, Cotton Fitzsimmons, the late great one, they would expect me to try to score a point per minute, but get a breakaway or get a dunk and try to slam the basketball, which I was trying to oblige them every time because that was just my little way of getting my little niche on the team and getting some fanfare.
Well, I'm honestly happy that you answered in the way that you did, and the reason why is because I got to see the whole 4 minutes during the second quarter of that exhibition game where Bron and Bronny got to share the court together, and you could just tell all of that sold out stadium, all the fans there, everyone. I mean, they didn't care about the game as much anymore. They just wanted to see LeBron, pass to Bronny in the corner and see him hit a three, or they wanted to see Bronny, toss an alley-oop to his dad. And I have this concern about the Lakers for this upcoming season, and I just don't hear people talking about this as much. And perhaps you might be able to speak to it a little bit better, but it just feels like the Lakers are going to be dealing with a massive distraction. Anytime that Bronny is on that bench and there's a remote chance that LeBron and Bronny can both play together. And I just can't help but feel like it's going to be really difficult for them to overcome this distraction and have a lot of success this season. Do you see that, impacting them?
This Jenny Buss and Rob drafted Bronny. That was the positive side of it. One, the fan side that everybody wanted to see this history being made. And also, you never know a corner three by Bronny or a lob thrown by his son, and he's dunking it down. That's part of it. It's a show. And, will Bronny be involved in him winning a championship or trying to win a championship? I think the small piece of it is just that, the hype, the anticipation, the fanfare of it, the X's and O's on the court and actually, 48 minutes of basketball. Not really, but that is why, I think that did a great job by making this happen. Not only making history, but, people are going to come see. Bronny has a big following, and then, I played with Sir Charles, and his motto was, 50% of the people buy tickets to come boo me, and 50% of the people buy tickets to come cheer me.
Well, and I mean, this is something we're going to have to, just kind of keep an eye on throughout the year. I mean, it seemed like in what I had witnessed, and you're certainly right. I mean, the Lakers have the most compelling products probably in the entire league. I think they're going to sell out games to, games on the schedule that don't mean anything, as long as there's a chance to see Bron and Bronny together. I mean, it's once in a lifetime. And you should have seen the way that, the crowd reacted in the 4 minutes. I mean, it felt like I was at like a college basketball game. Anytime they were on offense and there was a chance that something could happen, everyone's standing up, everyone's got their phones out. And I mean, it seems like there's maybe a chance the Lakers might, keep Bronny around for like the first week and then kind of, send him off to the G League because they don't want to deal with this distraction. But, if he does, prove his worth and his talent is there and he can be an actual contributor, then perhaps he does stick around. And then that just bodes, well for the Lakers ticket sales. Hopefully, JJ Redick can manage all of that being a first-time coach. I mean, do you feel like it requires, a coach that has experience, managing other, talents and other egos? Is that something JJ might struggle with?
I don't think so. I would love to see Bronny blossom in the G League, but why not keep him there? I mean, there's tons of guys, usually the coach's rotation doesn't get deeper than 9. And that's very rare that it goes 9. So if you keep him in, the 10th, 11th, 12th spot, that's fine. He gets to learn, he gets to hang with his dad, and then that anticipation of a blowout or a situation where he can get in with his dad would just be great for not only, like you said, for the action, but for the ticket sale. JJ's going to have a tough time, man, with this because, obviously LeBron has a lot of power to go, hey, JJ, put my son in this situation. I'll take care of it. I'll monitor this. And then also upstairs because of the fanfare of it with Jenny Buss and everybody saying, get him in the game. But I think most importantly, JJ is worried about his bumps and bruises as a coach, period, for being his first time coaching. And I think Bronny and LeBron are on the back burner for those two getting in the game at the same time. I know it's there, but I don't think he's really concerned. His big concern is trying to get through the Western Conference specifically.
Well, and that's something that I think we'll just have to be kind of continuously checking in on it. I mean, there's going to be some really awesome highlights, some really cool sequences to come. Unfortunately, in that exhibition game, there was one play where Bron did get the ball to Bronny for a corner three. He didn't make it. I mean, the place would have just absolutely exploded if that went the way that we hoped it would. But I want to transition over to some of these other divisions that we didn't get to talk about last time, and let's start trying to find some opportunities perhaps in the betting market, to where we can, try and make some money here and beat the book. One of these divisions I was hoping to hear some thoughts from you on was the Atlantic Division. And right now in the Atlantic Division, you've got the Boston Celtics that are favored to win it. Right behind them is the New York Knicks. They're priced at a little bit over 2-1. You've got the Philadelphia 76ers just behind them, priced just under 4-1. And then you've got the Raptors and the Nets at 500-1 to win the Atlantic Division. How do you see this playing out, Sed?
I think a lot of pressure is going to be set on the Boston Celtics. Will they be ready for that? Will they let that chip on their shoulders erupt them from the, not only Tatum not playing in the Olympics, but Jalen not making the Olympics or being invited to the Olympics? I think that's going to be going to wear them out, trying to uphold that. But I do see a lot of spark and a lot of fanfare with the new trade of the New York Knicks. So I would go with New York Knicks, just the fact that, Towns coming in, adding that perimeter shooting. They can always count on Towns. He's not really the defensive stopper, but, DiVincenzo is going to be tough to replace. His defensive intensity, and especially the New York Knicks fans really love the way he plays and then gets people off their feet with dives and deflections and all that. I don't know, Toronto's is kind of like, really out there. I mean, I don't know if they can put this thing and plug this thing together after mixing up all these new pieces. But I do love the fact that Joel Embiid has been quiet this summer and not really throwing a lot of things out of there. Hopefully he's got super healthy. I mean, Maxey is just playing unbelievable, and he's just going to get better for him. They made some transitions on defense and moved some people around. So hopefully, Joel will have some help on the defensive side. But I think the biggest thing out of this conference is definitely, the intensity of what Boston is going to do to try to, shut people's mouths or stop their expectations, thinking that why Jalen and then why Tatum didn't play and Jalen didn't make the Olympic team and all that. I think that chip on their shoulder might be their downfall this season. But they're not going to drop far. It may be second. Or third, but it's not going to be third. It's definitely going to be one or two.
And we're talking to Sed Ceballos here on 1580 The Fanatic. Sed, I heard you mention the Karl Anthony Towns trade really quick, and I just wanted to pick your brain on that a little. Do you like that trade for both sides? It felt to me like a trade that kind of both sides got what they wanted out of it. Does that make the Knicks any better in particular? And was it actually a really good trade for both parties?
I think Julius going out of New York City it's been great. Now going to Minnesota, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But him leaving New York City has been great. I thought he had a lot of jealousy and animosity where times he didn't play extremely hard because Jalen was more of a star than him. He might have been disrupted or underestimated about his contract or wanting a new one because Jalen got the money. I don't know. They put this Villanova squad together. Obviously, they exit one out with of that trio. But I think they got guys who will be led by Jalen Brunson. I don't think Randall really was all in on being led by him. I think he wanted this New York Knicks team to be his team. Jalen, when he was with Dallas, quiet. He's still kind of quiet, but he takes so much command of his team, and you kind of have to play hard to be under his umbrella. And sometimes you didn't get that. So I thought it might be a good thing to get Randall out there, but not to Minnesota, because now you're dealing with a bigger superstar with Anthony Ant-Man. Now there's no way you're going to be able to compete with that guy. Now, do you want to become a great Robin? This is a great scenario for you because Gobert is not going to be Robin. He's just going to be a defensive stopper. He may get his 10 every now and then he'll put some 15 points up. But this is maybe a great opportunity for you. It'll be a tremendous Robin. You got to think of the great Robins, man. Either Shaq or Kobe was Robin. They kind of flip-flop that. Scottie Pippen was a Robin. John Stockton was a Robin. I mean, you can go on and on great Robins of this league. But for the Knicks, you put Towns in a position where I think he's a better passer than Randall was. So he's going to hit a lot of guys. You got a lot of movement that they brought in Bridges and everybody else. So you got a lot of movement on that. Got heart movement. You got a guy who will play together, have the same mentality. I don't think Towns want to be the star. He had his star opportunity in Minnesota. Ant-Man came and took it over, and he relinquished that spot easily. I think he's going to be great for this squad because he's going to allow Jalen to be Mr. New York Knicks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 years. Allow that to happen. Be a great Robin. You're on the biggest stage in basketball. This can only help you as far as off-the-court amenities, as far as endorsements, people recognizing you. So this is going to be something great. I know it's emotional leaving because this is where Mom saw him play last in Minnesota, and she passed away during COVID. But this is a great thing. And I think New York Knicks, that's why I'm putting them ahead of Boston Celtics, just the fact that Towns is going to be a great Robin for this basketball team.
Well, Sed, you and I are completely on the same page when it comes to the Atlantic Division. And again, you can check out the Beat the Book NBA Futures Edition post that is on the Beat the Book website. So you could still pull that up. Just scroll down a little bit when you get to the Beat the Book site. You'll see it on there. And you can go through all the different divisions and the other picks that I've posted on there. But with the Atlantic Division, also don't forget Kristaps Porzingis is injured for the Celtics. He is not expected to return to play until around the new year. So that's quite a bit of time for the Celtics to try and figure things out, and then continue to stay healthy after playing a pretty deep, run of playoff basketball. And then, you've got Derek White, you've got Jason Tatum, who, played in the Olympics as well. So a little bit of extra, traction there for their stars, Drew Holiday as well. So, I mean, a lot of talent on the Celtics, but, are they going to be able to stay healthy enough? And then the other thing, too, is I think that's just really a team that, they're confident enough in their ability to where as long as they have their foot in the door and they make it into the playoffs, they don't care where they're seated. They know what they bring to the court, and they'll have a good shot at making a run. But since we've got you talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, it's a good time to look at the Northwest Division winner. Right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder are priced as the favorite. You've got the Timberwolves right behind them at 3-1 odds. Then you've got the Nuggets right behind the Timberwolves at 3.5-1 odds, followed by the Trailblazers and the Utah Jazz at 500-1. Said, do you think the Timberwolves now have enough talent to, put them over the top and actually finish with a better record than the Thunder? Or is this the Thunder's division to lose?
Yeah, I think this is the Thunder's division to lose because the simple fact that they got a little experience and they got Jet that has some use. He's got some ability now. Now he's not a rookie, even though technically he was last year, but he got a lot of experience. I see this team defensively being better than Minnesota, and they, with Kid Childers, he can score it on anybody at any given time. But I wonder if Minnesota's chemistry, will be unbalanced. Like I said, with Randall, will he come in there and accept that role? And that's going to be huge because Ant-Man is a star. He is a big star in this league. He's coming off a wonderful trip in Paris, getting his gold medal. They're going to celebrate that, and he's going to try to extend that. What he did to Phoenix last year, tough scenario, but I think that's going to be a key. Will the chemistry between those two, and don't get me wrong, Towns didn't have bad chemistry. He had great chemistry with Ant-Man. He understood his role, and that's the wonderful thing about it. But it is something new. You got the Oklahoma City team coming in. They've been a unit for a while. Even though Chet has been hurt, he's been there 2 years to fight with the guys emotionally and teach and learn. So that's going to be a tough fight. Now, the difficult thing in Denver is, the showmanship, the circus that Westbrook brings with him. Does it disrupt this no frills team that the Joker is running? He's not a guy that needs all that fanfare. He's like, all right, hurry up with the questions. Let me get this over with so I can go back wear a T-shirt and some jeans. I don't want nobody noticing me. And Westbrook is a bold guy. That may be something that they may or may not need. I'm not sure. Jackson may be there. I mean, I don't know. Murray is going to control it. Will there be a point where the chemistry between those two be combined, or will it deflate on what Joker wants this team to be? And that's a good hard-nosed team. Show up every day, but we don't the fanfare behind that. Now, I'm not really sure how Utah varies in this whole big mix. I mean, they've been quiet for a couple of years, and this is a good opportunity for them to really blossom out and try to make some noise. But the Western Conference is so difficult, it's so hard. I mean, DeMar is talking about winning the Western Conference, getting to the finals in Sacramento, and I know Steph is determined to show everybody that he can play with a team without Clay and those young guys. So Utah is going to have to bring it each and every day. They can't take days off. They're going to have stretches where they're going to play some tough conference teams, and they're going to have to survive. A stretch of 6 games where they're playing Lakers, Golden State, Sacramento, Denver, Minnesota, and the chances are that they may not survive.
Well, and with the Nuggets, I'm curious to see how Westbrook impacts their play. Does he really move the needle for them? Don't forget that they also lost 2 guys from their championship team, with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope going to the Magic, and then Reggie Jackson also left over the offseason as well. So, with the Nuggets, I mean, the talent is there. You've got the best basketball player in the world, arguably, in Nikola Jokic. But, is that chemistry still there from that championship team, a couple of years ago? That remains to be seen. And then, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, they both got a lot better. I do like that Towns trade for both sides. Julius Randle in particular could be a huge opportunity for him to be able to step up and shoulder a little bit more of the offensive load than what he was getting in New York, particularly with their addition of Mikal Bridges. The Knicks were going in a different direction. Towns fits their game much better. And then now for the Timberwolves, by getting Towns out of there, you free up some more opportunity for Naz Reid to come in. He was a pretty good emerging talent. Gobert can really just be more of a specialty defensive guy. Those are definitely some complementary moves. But with the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's poised to take a big step forward this year. He's the heavy favorite for winning the MVP award with many different odds makers. So that will be pretty exciting to see play out. Keon, we gotta get to a break here.
We do, and that is pretty much what we've got time for. But we appreciate the time, appreciate all of the knowledge there about this upcoming NBA season, and hopefully we get the chance to do it again.
Okay, guys, take care.
Thanks, Ed.
So that's Ed Ceballos, former NBA player, former Sun, All-Star, Slam Dunk champion. All the deal, all the accolades. So we'll get to the picks today on the other side, and that'll do it for us right here. You're listening to Beat the Book on 1580 The Fanatic.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa. And outrun a few.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now, Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000 MSRP. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. 2024 Nissan Altima, Kicks, Leaf, Rogue, Sentra, and Versa. All prices are manufacturer's suggested retail price. Manufacturer's suggested retail price excludes destination and handling charges, tax, title, license, and options. Dealer sets actual prices.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Forte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's UPORTE.com.
1580 The Fanatic.
There will be many, many, many nights of football in a row, but we're not going to talk about each and every game. We've got FIU versus the Liberty Flames tonight. For anybody who cares, which I can promise you, it's not going to be a thrilling game necessarily. But we've got picks for you. We've got a little WNBA action tonight to talk about. We've got some Major League Baseball stuff that's really interesting because it's not necessarily the game; it's the game outside of the game. We've got fan interactions and so many things that can go wrong in this Dodgers and Padres series.
You know, like a team needing to warn its fan base against abusive behavior.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think so either. I mean, I really can't. I'm trying to think of any time. Only the Dodgers and the Padres. There is a lot of bad blood between those two teams, and those fan bases are exactly the kinds of fan bases who would probably push that line further than anybody would like.
So there were no official picks posted on the Beat the Book website today. But again, if you follow the Instagram account that's at Beat the Book Fanatic, all spelled out, I did post a number of different bets that you can look to place today in the story. So just check out the story. You'll see the exact wagers and what I'm recommending there. When it comes to the Dodgers and the Padres, this is a series where I have advocated from the start, just ride on the Padres money line. The first 2 games in LA, they were priced as an underdog, so we were able to take advantage of even money, and now they have flipped to being the favorite. This is pretty largely due to the pitching matchup for today. The Dodgers are now kind of falling off their cliff of starting pitching talent with all the different injuries that they have going on with their rotation. So today, Walker Buehler is going to be taking the mound for the Dodgers. Meanwhile, Michael King will be pitching for the Padres. And Walker Buehler does not have the greatest track record when it comes to pitching against the players on the Padres specifically. Fernando Tatis Jr., he has an excellent history of getting home runs, getting hits, having opportunities to get on base and score whenever he is going up against Walker Buehler. So if you're looking to place a wager down on this game, I did recommend for RBIs, runs batted in, you can take Fernando Tatis for 1 or more. You can honestly do that for Shohei Ohtani just because he's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident about that.
I mean, if you want to look at Michael King's numbers against Shohei Ohtani, it'll probably make you feel better about doing that too. But even outside of that, if you're someone that likes to play that combined hits, runs, and RBIs market, Fernando Tatis is priced at 1.5, and he's a very good play to go over that. That's something that you should be able to take advantage of on DraftKings. You may see that come up on FanDuel as we get closer to the first pitch in that game. And then even though they are priced as the favorite now, you got to still roll with Padres money line. They just have all the momentum. The bats are coming alive. 10-2 win in game 2 back in LA the last time they played. And there was something that happened during that game that is feeding into all of this fire, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a general vibe of negativity from the fans, and the players are starting to pick up on it just a little bit.
So, Keon, you and I talked a little bit about how in the last game with the Padres and the Dodgers fans were throwing trash, things, baseballs, whatever they could find around them. They're throwing them on the field.
Absolute bush league behavior, essentially.
The guys in the outfield, they're like this. Like we're not playing while people are throwing stuff at us,
which is fair,
which is completely fair.
I think that's a reasonable ask.
So, that was a whole thing that played out, and, it ended up delaying the game for like close to 10 minutes. Had it gone on for 15 minutes, there's actually a rule within the MLB where the umpires have the power to just forfeit the game in favor of the opposing team.
Which is crazy. I've never heard that rule before in my life. And the reason why it's coming up at this particular juncture in time is that the Padres have recently warned their fans, hey, maybe don't do what the Dodgers did, because if it takes us longer to fix this and get, the jackwagons out of there who are throwing stuff or whatever, it's possible we could lose a baseball game we didn't actually lose.
There was also a pretty fiery exchange going on between Manny Machado and Jack Flaherty in the last game. You and I didn't get to talk about this. I don't know if you saw anything, but there was some words being spoken between the two of them. Manny Machado may or may not have thrown a baseball into the Dodgers dugout,
which sounds like him.
I mean, Dave Roberts even came out and said, I believe he intentionally did this. He didn't say it verbatim that way. He said it in a different way.
Well, yeah, because he's Dave Roberts. He understated it and kind of undersold it a little bit. But yeah, no, it would be on brand for Manny Machado to have done that.
So I know when I'm looking at, what to watch tonight and what to bet on, this game is definitely at the top of my list of, pretty exciting stuff to watch. There is another game that's going on today that does have higher stakes. That is a elimination game where the winner will go on to play for the championship in their league. I am talking about the WNBA, and we have game 5 between the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun. And there were a couple of bets I did place for this game, and I did post them on Instagram. The Minnesota Lynx are the favorite. This game is in Minnesota. Truthfully, they are the better team. They're a 4.5-point favorite last time I checked. But there's this really sweet win margin betting market that's on FanDuel where they'll let you wager on the Minnesota Lynx to win by a margin of 1 to 10 points. So as long as they do not win the game by 11 or more points, and as long as they don't lose, you win. That has to be the absolute best bet that I can recommend today. These teams have a pretty lengthy history now of playing against each other. You can go back and look at how this series went. You can look at the regular season series.
It's about dead even.
It's about dead even, but when the Sun lose, they don't lose by more than 10. It has not happened, and it's not going to happen tonight in a game that's for all the marbles.
I mean, how could it? I mean, the stakes have never been higher. The Sun don't want to go home, but I agree with you. I think the Lynx are the better team here, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. The Lynx are the better team, and the Lynx at home, I mean, since the All-Star break, have been insane.
I mean, they hardly ever lose games at home. I think they've literally lost one game at home since play resumed after the Olympics for the WNBA. But speaking of the Lynx, their best player, Nafisa Collier, she has been on a tear over the last couple of games in this series. I have won multiple bets for her to get 25 plus points. That's typically priced around 2-1, 2.5-1. So if you can find around those odds for her to get 25 plus in this game, it's not a bad bet, but definitely count on her to score at least 20 points. That was the bet that I had posted on the Instagram story. She absolutely can get you at least 8 rebounds, should be good for 10, quite frankly. So those are some additional bets you can look to place for that game. But this has been a chippy series. There's players on the Connecticut Sun that are just kind of fiery in nature, and it makes this matchup even more compelling. You've got Dejanai Carrington, who was I want to say she was like Defensive Player of the Year.
I have to look that up off the top of my head. I do not know that, but I think you're right. I just think that if you like sports and if you like that Dave Chappelle bit about the player haters ball, and you're very much interested in turning on your TV and watching hate. Tonight's the night for you. Lynx Sun, that's going to be so much hate. And then, of course, Padres, Dodgers, already no love lost. This series seems to be getting more and more bad blood as we move forward.
Dejanai Carrington got most improved player.
That's what it was.
Defense player, but excellent defender. Plays with a lot of just fire on the court. So really excited to see her match up with Nafisa Collier and, Kayla McBride, all the other really great players on the Lynx. It's going to be an excellent game. Don't forget to check out the Beat the Book story on Instagram. You'll see all of those bets that I had put out for today. And Keon, that's all I got.
Well, we're going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to be talking a lot more NBA. We're going to talk some more NFL because you know how it gets to the middle of the week, and then we start getting close to that Thursday game, and we start chomping at the bit for football. We'll get to all of that stuff tomorrow here on Beat the Book on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hi, I'm Mike Yam with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 5 wrapped up Monday night with the Chiefs improving to 5-0 after defeating the Saints 26-13. Derek Carr left the game in the fourth quarter with an oblique injury, while Patrick Mahomes threw for 331 yards, and Kareem Hunt added 102 yards on the ground. Staying in Kansas City, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting that Rashee Rice will undergo surgery to repair an LCL injury in his right leg and is expected to miss the remainder of the season. In Houston, D'Amico Ryans told reporters on Monday that Nico Collins is considered week to week after suffering a hamstring injury during the Texans' win over the Bills on Sunday. The Colts head coach Shane Steichen has confirmed that Anthony Richardson